right. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shem Gatam, Yahweh Shema Alatam Bahasham, Yahweh Shine. This is Spanglish Experience. Me, Captain Azaparian, along with Kazakh Yad, along with Yahweh Sap Yad, and out of Puerto Rico, Magana Mount. We're going to have other guests come in here, and we're going to talk about, things that is going around in the country. As far as, brown issue or black issue, you know what I'm saying, aka Israelite issues.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, which is very, very, very important to discuss. One of the things I want to talk about at this given time is about Adam Toledo. Like a lot of brothers, and even today, I was on Twitter, and some fool made a comment. I'm gonna read the comment, and that's the reason why I want to talk about Adam Toledo for a little while. All right, let me read the comment because it gives us something to feed off of, you know.
Concert.
So let me see. He said this, right? Well, it was in this comment section right here.
Native TikTok.
Right, what the comment says. So, let's see, boy, I can't even pull up the comment now. So Latinos, he says, so Latinos is not a race. All 12 tribes were black, and that 12 tribe chart was debunked over 10 times in different ways, right? So if you don't believe that the Latinos are part of the nation of Israel, then explain to me why not only does it happen to black, but Latinos and Native American Indians with these police. You hardly ever hear any other nation or any other ethnic group where they have issues with police. It does happen from time to time, but the majority of the time, say 99.99% of the time, it happens to the Israelites. Whether you be black, right, meaning Negro, West Indian or Haitian, whether you be Latino of native descent, pick your country, or whether you be of North American or Seminole Indians, and all the families that come out of there. You know what I'm saying? And for people to be saying that they debunked the 12 tribe chart, explain to me this. In Kazakh Yard, enlighten the audience, right, about Montezuma and what he knew about Israel.
Montezuma knew about Israel because their ancestors had already kept laws equal to that of the people, Israelites. These people, these Aztecs, these Mayans, all the culture that's in Latino America, so-called Latino America, because I don't want to call it Latino America, but so-called Latino America, we were already aware of our culture being Israelite culture. We kept a lot of traditions and a lot of laws that were already in place with our culture, period. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So that's one aspect. Now you can dig deeper into when you do the research in the Mayan Empire, and I can go ahead and pull up images showing some of the artifacts which contain the Shield of David in the Mayan Empire, which I'm about to do right now.
And if you can't, so give me 1 second. I want to bring something with me. I'm going to excuse myself for 1 second. I want to bring something with me to show also.
Go ahead. Go ahead. All right. So I'm just trying to pull up. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just trying to pull up the images showing in the Mayan Empire where they had the Shield of David. Okay. So there's a lot of people who don't I'm gonna show you an image with this brother in the Mayan who had fringes on his garments. Are you ready for it? Well, let me show it to you. All right. A lot of people are truly unaware of this, but let's show people what they don't understand. This is to help that brother who think that only you gotta be only black to be a Hebrew Israelite. Well, I'm gonna shut you up right now. You don't know what you're dealing with. All right. So if you look at the bottom right here, what do you see? Yawasapiyala, right here.
Fringes.
Fringes, right? And what do you see in his hand? What does it look like?
It's kind of small.
Okay. What he's holding the staff, but what looks almost similar to a manara.
Kind.
But you can see he wearing fringes. Now let me ask you, for you non-believers that don't think that the Latinos and the Native American Indians, well, where the hell we get the customs of wearing fringes on our garments? And you can clearly see he had a border of whatever it was. He nonetheless had the border. Where do you think those customs from? We just out of magically just decided to do that? Let me get another image. I'm gonna stop this one right here. This is not the one. Oh, no, it seems like they went ahead and removed the damn thing because now you can't even find it. Ain't that a let me see if this one might be even hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom up in this thing here.
And if I may, sir,
go ahead.
If I can get one of the brothers to go into the Bible,
go ahead.
Go into the book of Chronicles, Second of Chronicles, and find me Tola, the second son of Issachar. Segunda de Crónicas, and the brother and the first son of Issachar, Tola. And I want to point something out real quick while you find that there. Let me, because I'm having issues turning on my computer. Right. When we're about to go heavy, things just go wrong.
Hold on. If I could, let me just pull this image now that I got it, right?
Right.
All right, if I may. For all you non-believers that say, I'm the Latinos are not Israelite. Well, then explain this to me. Here's some archaeology, right? Here's some archaeology. Somebody explain this to me, you non-believers. You know what's the problem? You hate Latinos and love the white man. That's the bottom, deep down seated bottom truth. Now explain it to me why this Mayan brother has the shield of David as an earring piece. Somebody explain that to me. Well, how would this Mayan know about the shield of David? And if you look close, don't it look like the same ISUPK shield? If you look
right.
good, it's similar to the ISUPK shield. How the hell, if the Mayans never heard about Christ, right? If they weren't there when Christ walked the earth, then why would these have the shield of David? Huh? Somebody explain that right there.
Counselor, and if I may add,
go ahead.
I believe that was a German archaeologist who found that there, and this is an old image. I believe it may be from the 40s or the 50s that you're talking about right there.
If I'm not mistaken, you're talking about this. This guy is M. Jacob, but I know the Nurembergs also would do some research as well. You know, but go ahead.
And I'm trying to bring him up, but Khan, you have that gentleman there who was an archaeologist who discovered that there, and they put that side by side with the Mayans being descendants of the Hebrews.
Yeah, of course.
Because of the symbol that he has wearing as an earring. And let me get here real quick.
Go ahead.
And let me bring mine here real quick. Go ahead. Salaki, sir. Salaki. I'm getting to it right now. Okay, esto se pone bueno. Let's go here. All right. And they call it on that, I believe they called it the Star of David on that. But it's actually, he did. He called it the Star of David on that. If I remember that image correctly, I'm very heavy on that image too, because I know the meaning. They call it the Jewish Star of David. And it's on a Mayan sculpture by, I believe that's Alexander that you're looking there. That was the name of the archaeologist, Von Withian, something like that.
Von Withian. Yeah, I know. You got a Jewish Star of David, and his ear is an ear spool.
Con, I remember having that as an image of my own. Very interesting. That one's very interesting. That's an excellent point, because you're looking at archaeological evidence before the conquest of Mexico.
Yeah,
is what you're looking at there.
That's right. This date's pre-Columbus.
Pre-Columbian, it says.
You know?
And sir, if I may, if you got a moment, I don't know if you can expand mine. I don't know how to do this, but vamos a ver.
You got it? What you trying to say? The screen? Okay, what you do is go to the bottom and see that share button?
Share.
You see what it says next to it? It's in between cam and microphone and invite. It says share.
Can't my chat leave? Salaki, sir. No miro eso. I don't see it. But look, there you go.
Okay, I really can't see it per se. Let me look at it through YouTube. But let me see.
Can you see that?
I'm trying to. I'm going on YouTube. YouTube got some delays.
Bring it in closer.
Okay, okay. I can't. Oh yeah. I see it on YouTube. Everybody can see that on YouTube. Yep, you can see the shield.
That's a Mayan artifact right there.
Look at that.
And look at that in the stomach. That's the shield.
Yep.
And that's an ancient Mayan artifact also that you're looking at there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's funny that guy came and said that, because I've dealt with these people that are, well, you know, we call them, what is that? All black Israelite? You know? That's what we call them?
The Old Testament Israelites.
Khan, Old Testament Israelites. Okay, yeah, Khan. And I've dealt with these brothers, man, and they really have nothing to say about some of the artifacts. They want to go with other, sources, but they lack the knowledge when it comes to artifacts. You know what I'm saying? I have another one that I want to show you. This one's real interesting here. This is for them that say that the Mayans are not, artifact. And what you're looking at here is a breastplate with 12 stones. You see that, sir?
I can see it on the stream, y'all. I'm just trying to see it on the. Let me see if I can see it on Twitter. I'm gonna spam my Twitter. I can see it on the stream, y'all. I'm just trying to see it. Okay.
And
I can see the breastplate, yeah.
Khan, and to add to that, sir, look at his headpiece.
Right, that kind of look like a mitri.
Absolutely. It's a wrap that goes around the head that they still use to this day, that wrap, and they wrap it around. It's just exactly like the mitri, how it's just a cloth that goes around and around and around and around the head. And I wish I had the video prepared, but there's a video of a young lady in Guatemala putting on her headpiece the way they used to do it in the ancient times. And that's a mitri that's used today by the brothers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to show you another one out of Honduras. archaeology. And the image, of course, is partial, but you can see it's part of a bigger piece, if I may. Like, if you can see the image, right, you can see
Oh,
it's the Shield of David, but this is in Honduras, right? It's just the top piece is missing, but obviously you can see it's forming the Shield of David.
absolutely, absolutely.
Or what about I'm gonna look for another one out of Puerto Rico, which is well, ¿cómo se llama el tipo? Magán, Nazario, right? The Nazario stones.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Nazareth stones. Khan.
How the Nazario stones. This is out of Puerto Rico. I want somebody to explain to me that shit right here. Hold on. I mean, there's quite a few. Let me show you this one here. Hold on. This is important. This is for the idiots who don't believe nothing. This shit, excuse me, this right here, right, is one of few stones that you clearly see is in Hebrew, in the Lashawan Kodash.
Absolutely.
And listen, I'm gonna show you the brother who I don't know if you can see it here, but this brother here, he went and sent the stones outwards to get analyzed, and they found out that the language on it is Hebrew and authentic and predates Columbus. Okay. Let me see if I can show the close up over here. And there's other images, of course. Let me get some more. Of course, you know, there's certain people that want to write it off as Phoenician. You know what I'm saying? But here you can't dispute what it is. Let me show you. See what's this one. Let me see what's this one here. If you see that right here, the Hebrew inscription, you can clearly see the Sa there. And how he has it a position, right? I can see the Da right here, the Tha, and this look like the Ya right there. Right? I can't really make out here exactly what it said. The only one that's clear is the Sa to me. And you can see a Ka right here. You know what I'm saying? So point being, we could continue showing you all kinds of images, but to discontinue the Latinos as native, you know, hold up. Let me give you one more. I got this was in New Mexico. Hold up.
Counselor, if I may, I'm going to show you one, the killer. I'm going to show you the killer. Ready for the killer? This right here.
New Mexico.
This right here is a Mayan warrior, and it's from Campeche, and this is a Mayan warrior. See this? And you can see that what he has around his neck.
Hold on. Yeah, there you go. I've seen this image before. He got a shield.
He's got a shield. Not only does he have a shield, sir, but look, he has a war belt.
Let me see. Bring it in closer. Zoom in a little bit closer.
Se mira.
There's a little delay over here on the Twitter. That's why.
God, he's wearing a war belt and he's got the shield around his neck. And he's got the garment all the way down to the foot.
To the foot, yep.
You see the garment all the way down to his foot.
Yep.
That's a priest, a warrior priest right here. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Oh, Salakia decline. Salakia. But yeah, that's what we're looking at there. This is no fail. Like you can't, this right here has got to be the most important archaeological evidence of Mayans and Aztecs being Hebrew Israelites.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Hey, we got Officer Kazak Aymar in the house also with us. I invited him to come in out of DC. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, Yahweh Shagata.
Yahweh Bashem Yahweh brought the thumb to all the Adawani.
Hey, well, welcome to the Spanglish Xperience. And what we're talking about, we want to talk a little bit about Adam Toledo, right? Because, I earlier read some fool on TikTok that said this, and I want to put you in the mindset of why if you saw the images that we brought up, there's a reason. So the brother says, so Latinos is not a race, exclamation point. All tribes were black, and that 12-tribe chart been debunked over 10 times in different ways, is what he said, right? So now we right here using that, feeding off of that, to just show everybody on the planet that when us Latinos who know the truth start bringing out these archaeological facts along with biblical facts, you just need to shut the fuck up about who we are, who we not are.
Absolutely.
And that's keeping it real, you know what I'm saying? And then, and of course, you have a lot of people that don't like the truth. This brother, all he sees is black, but he forget number one, brothers ain't black, they brown. We're just a different shade of brown. And black in the sense of us being oppressed and us being in captivity, that's a condition. You know what I'm saying? So now, with that being said, the Adam Toledo event, right? Okay, I don't want to criminalize him the way the world wants to criminalize him. Did he do something wrong? Because in his youth, you're damn right. He did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's part of it growing up. But here's what I won't do. I won't be like the Christians who say, you see, that's what you get. You shouldn't have been with the crowd. Last time I checked, white people don't do that shit. White people don't throw other people under the bus. Correct me if I'm wrong. But white people don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Heck, Dylan Roof, didn't they treat him with humanity? Even though he murdered 5 of our people? What about the guy that went into the Walmart right there in Texas, in La Frontera, and lit up people up there? You know what I'm saying? Or they always find some excuse. Oh, he was just having issues and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to us, we got to be the face of the criminal in America. We got to be that face. And then for stupid idiot brothers to say that we're not part of the 12 tribes, somebody get me where it says both Judah and Israel, both of them shall be afflicted together. Because that's important to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's another topic I want to talk about what happened to a brother from Delaware in Puerto Rico. ¿Escuchaste esa noticia, Magán?
¿Acá?
Yeah.
No estoy seguro.
The brother was from Delaware, but something happened to him, terrible thing happened to him in Puerto Rico. Anybody else heard that news? Anybody else got something to say before we get that scripture?
So that's Jeremiah.
You got it?
Jeremiah 50 and 30?
Yeah, whoever got it, just go ahead and read it.
Somebody got it? If not, I'll read it.
Yeah, read it.
No? Okay, then I'll read it. Here we go. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were
Stop right there.
oppressed
Let's
together.
explain that part. The children of Israel. Who are the children of Israel? The children of Israel is referring to the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, the Dominicans, the Cubans, the Central Americans, and the South American natives. That's the children of Israel. Along also, let's add on the North American and the Seminole Indians. That's the children of Israel. And who else? The children of Judah is what it says, right?
Go on, sir.
The children of Judah is a so-called Negro, the so-called West Indians and all his descendants, and the so-called Haitians. You understand? They the children of Judah. Continue.
And it goes on to say, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
You see that? Both black and Latino, black and native, we all are captive, and they refuse to let us go. That's why they maintain us here as slaves, or you call essential workers, because that's the new term these days. It ain't slave, because that sounds too harsh. Essential workers sound nicer, don't it? Don't it, Yawasap? Essential workers. So now you goddamn explain to me why the things that are happening to the black people, that's the thing you see on the news. And America refuses to put all the things that they do to the Native Indian brothers and sisters. They refuse to put that on headline news. When was the last time anyone right here in this podcast can tell me when was the last time you seen on CNN, on Fox News, on ABC, on NBC, on CBS, all the majors, any news about a Native American Indian being killed by a police officer?
I don't see it, sir.
So say that again.
I don't see it, sir. Just
In
us.
Puerto Rico, have you heard any news? ¿Ha escuchado cualquier noticia sobre la matanza de un indio nativo aquí a la mano del policía?
Negativo.
Negativo. Nobody's heard that, but it has happened and it happens. Has anybody heard about the sisters gone missing off the reservations? Anybody heard that on CNN?
John, sir, I've heard that.
You've heard that, right? That you've heard, but nobody's here about the police, right? Well, let me tell you something. Why the children of Israel suffering this? Because our oppressors hold us fast. Our oppressors are still keeping us captive, and they refuse to let us go, just like who? Go ahead, Yawasap.
Pharaoh.
Just like Pharaoh. Is that a coincidence? No, it's not a goddamn coincidence. We are living the past in the future. Right now, when we lived in Egypt, we live here. We were the essential workers of Egypt. And here we are in 2021, the essential workers of the American Empire. That's who we are. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad thing what happened to Adam Toledo. It's very sad. And these are things that continue to happen frequently. He said the connection is there. He's trying again. Okay. Zach, yeah, he said he could come in when he get to his crib. No problem. Anybody else want to bring something up before I pull this story from Puerto Rico? Nobody, no, you know what I'm saying? You don't, no matter what you want to say, you can say it here. This is why I call it Spanglish Experience. But the whole thing is about us Latinos and what we experience in this country. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing about the Spanglish Experience is to bring out all this information that happens to us Latinos that maybe black folks don't know that happened to us. Like, we never sit down here and talk about the enslavements of our Native American Indian brothers and sisters, whether they be from North America, Central America, the Caribbean, or South America. We don't really talk about that because nobody wants to put that in the equation. Anything you hear about slavery is always about the blacks. It's always about coming from Africa. Nobody ever talks about the first slaves of America were the Taino Indians. And after them were the other native Indians throughout the Americas. And about the 1600s, then they brought other brothers in captivity from wherever they was at in Africa this way. You know what I'm saying? They never want to bring that part out because why? Because then that would make both parties see a common enemy. And being that we're in the ISUPK, our job is to bring that to light so that way both parties, the stick of Ephraim and the stick of Judah, so we have a common enemy. Anybody else?
Concert, Salakia, because I'm having issues with my headphones.
Okay.
I'm my for some reason my phone, the volume went all the way down and I'm not really picking it up very good, but I can kind of hear you still.
I'm trying to very clearly,
work something out.
What about you in Puerto Rico? What noticia? ¿Qué noticia hay en Puerto Rico que el mundo debe saber?
Últimamente yo estaba por acá, por allá, como en Texas, tú sabes.
Ajá.
Yo no estoy enterado de las noticias de ahora, de último.
Ok, y las noticias del mes pasado, de esos 2 semanas atrás.
Sí,
Algo que no sabemos acá, porque yo sé que suceden cosas que no sabemos acá.
El feminicidio.
Explica. He's saying feminicide.
Cuando matan a las mujeres.
When they kid in Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico always had that history of constantly the sisters getting murdered and killed, right? And that's the thing that they love to project. I know because I lived there. That's the thing they project constantly. Some brother killing a sister. They don't want to really touch the issue. Why this brother kill a sister? A lot of times it's not just because. I know it's happening a lot. I understand. It does happen a lot. It should not happen. No debe pasar, but it's happening. A lot of times, when you dig deeper, it's because she's probably slept with some dude or he's an abusive husband. That's why that's why you have all this femicide. You know what I'm saying? But that's the part that they put up front for everybody to see. They don't want to tell you all the details. Why? Because it's just America. It wants to make men look evil. You understand? You know, y qué más en Puerto Rico es lo que debemos hacer. Explica ese feminicidio.
Eso viene de muchas razones. Viene de muchas razones. Por ejemplo, aquí no hay pimps. ¿Me entiendes?
¿Aquí no hay qué?
Pimps.
Pimps.
Yeah, aquí no hay
That's
pimps.
not true. Eso
Pero
no es verdad.
no como en la calle está así, no como en la calle así.
Eso no es verdad. Lo que pasa es que los pimps están en la iglesia.
Yes, that's right.
Pero sigue.
Entonces, eso viene de muchas razones. Yo lo que creo es como, tú eres la mujer mía, tú no vas a estar con nadie, si tú te metes con otro, te voy a matar a ti, voy a matar a los nenes. ¿Me entiendes? That's a friend of mine.
Right.
¿Me entiendes?
Okay.
Y también hay mucho cuero que, tú sabes, se ponen a hacer cosas. Aquí no se tolera los cuernos así como ya, tú sabes, que si me metí con este hombre.
Entonces, háblame de la situación, porque yo me recuerdo, I remember when I was in Puerto Rico, yo me recuerdo cuando en Puerto Rico, there was a lot of gun violence. Is it still the same?
Todavía sigue, pero con heavy equipment.
With heavy equipment, right?
Sí.
You see, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't be knowing about that. You know what I'm saying?
Viene una 9 milímetros que le dicen Mickey Mouse, que ellos tienen la 9 milímetros así, y tiene como 100 balas. Te tira 100 balas rápido. Tú sabes, ellos están más. Y aquí Puerto Rico tiene bastante equipo en cuestión de tienen carros nuevos, tienen buen equipo, pero el criminal está mejor todavía, mejor preparado.
And that's how people live in Puerto Rico. Now, for you brothers who don't believe that the Latinos are Israelite, then why these curses are happening to them too? Huh? Explain that part, you non-believers. Huh? Explain that. You heard it, Adam Toledo. Now, I want to read an article. If anybody got something to say, that will stop you out.
Salakia, sir.
Uh-huh.
If I could, lo que a mí no me gusta del abuso que hicieron con el chamaquito, porque vamos a hablar primeramente de un chamaquito de 13 años.
Yep.
Y otra cosa, ¿sabes? Se veía claramente que el chamaquito tenía las manos arriba.
Right.
Tú sabes, this devil no tiene compasión ni paciencia con nosotros.
Right. That's true. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's even in the scripture, in Deuteronomy. And when it says he would not regard the young or the old, in Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the curses. You know what I'm saying? But for those who don't know who Adam Toledo is, I'm going to show the world, because people tend to forget, you know? I'm going to show an image of Adam Toledo so that way everybody could see. Yeah, this was a perfect image right here. Boom. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a body cam, the police body cam shot of the brother, right? So this was caught on camera, on the police cam. Look, hands are up. You clearly see no weapons, right? Period. Period. So there was no reason for the police to shoot him. And you know what pissed me off the most? I'm going to tell you what pissed me off the most. That after you shoot the brother, you're going to say, stay with me, stay with me. Like, if you really wanted to stay with him, all you had to do was taser the brother.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Ese, como yo viví muchos años en Chicago, esa área es de ISUPK.
Right.
Y sí, hay mucha ganga.
Yep.
¿Me entiendes? Pero vuelvo y digo, tú sabes, ellos primeramente, ellos tratan a los hispanos como tratan también a los morenos, igual, no hay una diferencia.
Right.
Entonces el latino acá dice mayormente, eso es a los morenos nada más.
Yep.
Eso es a los morenos nada más. No, eso es a los hispanos también.
Yep.
¿Me entiendes? Y el abuso que tienen en la ¿cómo que se llama? La frontera. Yo conozco un montón, mira, hay chinos indocumentados. Yo conozco un polaco, un italiano indocumentado. Esa gente ni los molestan para nada. Pero cuando tiene que ver con emigración y tiene que ver con cosas de violar la ley, las leyes de inmigración, son los hispanos nada más.
Right.
Y ahora mismo son los que tienen un abuso, que tienen esos nenes pequeños durmiendo en el piso, mi hermano.
Yep. Y ese triste el caso, ¿no?
Tú sabes, el que no piense que nosotros estamos pasando por lo mismo, de verdad, dice Uncle Tom, es un sellout.
Yep. Yep.
John.
That's all the way right, you know?
Absolutely. Sir, I can hear you now, so whenever you're ready, I got some stories.
Yeah, I've been hearing. So I'm gonna let you read your story. Then I'm gonna go back to this news article about what happened in Puerto Rico. But go ahead.
Okay. So the brother, is absolutely right. They seem to take advantage of us more than they do anybody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the brother Toledo got killed. The officer had no mercy on him as they would have on any other white folk. A los güeros sí les tienen compasión, pero a nuestra gente les vale puro gorro, como dicen allá en México, les vale madre. A nosotros sí nos tienen con la espalda contra la pared. somos los latinos y los morenos somos iguales. Y la tristeza, the sad part is that, you know, sometimes we go after each other. You know, a veces nosotros mismos somos nuestro peor enemigo. Nosotros mismos somos el peor enemigo. We're our worst enemies because we see all that's happening, and there is no way we can show compassion for our own people. We're being destroyed. Man, we live in the same neighborhoods. We go to the same stores. I'm going to say, well, cuando estaba yo en Texas, right? I stayed, my Airbnb was in a black neighborhood. And salimos yo y Cacharwan para afuera, and we could hear Mexican music, you know? We could hear the norteño music a few houses down. And as I drove out of the neighborhood, and I'm going down the neighborhood, this black neighborhood, to the left of me, taquerias, panaderías, licorerías mexicanas, pupusas. On the other side, I seen barbecue joints, you know, chicken joints. You know what I'm saying? I see black and Hispanic people like one in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like we right there. I was amazed because I love Texas now because I see the neighborhoods just like my neighborhood. But, you know, when you talk about our oppressor or America, they don't see us the same way. Just recently here in LA, I'm going to tell you a story that happened here in LA to a young man named Reginald James, who was shot, right? He was a 19-year-old kid. He shot out here in LA. Obviously, a black young man. He shot in LA. This was in February 26th that it happened. Okay, but recently, because of this shooting, the LA Police Department, Michael Flanagan, which is the sergeant, has decided to investigate vendors who are out on the street. So like anybody who's out on the street with a taco truck or any kind of truck out there, the police has been told to stop by, take pictures, get license plate, and get names of whoever's running those trucks. So come on, are you gonna tell me that if there's a shooting at a Ralph's Market or a supermarket, are they gonna start interrogating all the supermarkets or start getting names for all the supermarkets? No, man, they're not. They do that because they know that the vendors are all Hispanic people. And then they go through and check to see if they're paying taxes. They check to see if they got any tickets. They're after these people to see, if they're violating any laws. And now they're coming after the vendors because they found a reason how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
New York. What's lately happening over there that maybe the rest of the planet don't know?
As far as the Northern Kingdom, sir?
Well, I don't want to say Northern Kingdom, but as far as with Latinos.
Lo contrario es que yo quiero saber dónde viene la droga. Hay droga con cojones en Spanish Harlem.
Yeah.
Spanish Harlem is fiended out. And that's right by headquarters. It's a zombie apocalypse.
If you speaking of zombie, I know Puerto Rico got another nickname besides La Isla del Encanto. It's called Zombieland. Which is unfortunate. The only reason why it's called Zombieland is because of all the damn drugs. It's guns and drugs, and it's like everywhere. It's an infestation. Like just like in Mexico, it's an infestation of drugs and guns. You know what I'm saying? It just got, and then it ain't that Mexicans or Puerto Ricans or Central Americans or black Negroes or Jamaicans is evil. It ain't that. It's the conditions that were created for us to be that way.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Ahora mismo acá viene el lockdown. Yo tengo que irme porque viene el lockdown. Yo estoy en casa de mis padres.
Oh, okay. So go ahead.
Sí.
Go ahead then. Yeah,
Tengo que salir porque ya viene el lockdown.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. We don't want to do get jammed up. That's another thing that Puerto Rico got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Which Texas should have been that way itself. You know?
Cancer.
You know? But let me read this story of Shalom Yahshua. Let me read this story. Let me read the headlines, okay? They say American tourist killed in La Perla, Puerto Rico, named as Tariq Kadir Loa. Anybody knows Puerto Rico know the Perla. And what's the Perla? The Perla ain't the safest place on the island. Okay? Let me read the story. It says the burned body of U.S. citizen from Delaware has been found in Puerto Rico 3 days after he went missing in the popular seaside district of San Juan. You know how he went there, though, right? Because La Perla is a place where if you want drugs, you can go right there. They got a one-stop shop in La Perla. Everywhere and every corner in La Perla, you can go get your thing. And I think every first Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, in Puerto Rico, they got Noche de Carnaval, which they allow tourists and everybody to go to La Perla to go have fun, which includes getting high and all that. And the police don't do nothing. So I guarantee that this brother right here might have went there and didn't know exactly what he got into. I hear a reverb of somebody's computer or something. But anyway, let me continue reading. The body was identified as 24-year-old tourist Tariq Kadir Lope, a resident of Wilmington. On Tuesday, multiple news outlets have reported Lope had gone missing 3 days earlier when he and a friend, James Jackson, were attacked after listen, check this out. Him and his friend James Jackson were attacked after buying drugs in the shanty town of La Perla. See? According to the news agency the Associated Press. Police Commissioner Antonio Lopez Figueroa reported saying that the pair had purchased unspecified drugs on Saturday. They were trying to take photographs on an area in La Perla after people told them not to, and a dispute broke out. Okay? Lowe and Jackson were beaten up with items including an exercise weight, a piece of wood, and a deep fryer. God damn. Jackson managed to flee the scene and was hospitalized for his injuries, but Lope disappeared. Police said his body was found on Sunday in Vega Baja, a town about 20 miles west of San Juan. The body had been burned and was later identified as Lope by his fingerprints. The attackers have yet to be identified, police said. Relatives of Lope, including his 6-month pregnant partner, arrived in Puerto Rico ahead of the body's identification. La Primera Hora, which is the newspaper that reported Lope and Jackson were traveling in a 2020 Nissan Rogue around 6 p.m. on Sunday when they got out to take photos and videos. But they were surrounded by a group of people who told them that they could not take photos because this could attract police to the area. Tensions heightened when a heated discussion was turned physical, seeing 5 vehicles colliding during the chaos. You know, cool. So anyway, that's another thing. La Perla in Puerto Rico, it ain't that you can't just go up. And as a matter of fact, it ain't only La Perla. You go to any caserío, anywhere that there's a project, you can't just be taking pictures like that just because. You know what I'm saying? Because out there, that's the constant war between police and the street life. I mean, it's over here too, of course. But unlike here, people out there will go to arms with AK-47s, shoot at the police. You know what I'm saying? And all kinds of stuff. Zakia, you frozen? I think he froze up. Oh no, now you're good. Now you're good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so what else we got, man? We got Adam Toledo. What we was talking about the other day, because you muted.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you clear.
Just seeing what's going on, like the brother's talking about what's going on in their part of the country, you know, and then I'm talking about what's going on in my part of the country, you know, with all this, you know, how the police is like targeting us, you know. They see what the troubles we're going through. They see everything we're going through, and instead of helping, we become a target. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the help? Where's the help? They're out to protect and serve, but not us. You know, not us. They're not protecting and serving us. They're protecting and serving those that they believe this nation belongs to. Obviously, us, we out here suffering. You know, here in LA, they got the Long Beach Arena is about to be the stage for all these kids that are coming from.
Exactly. If I could you lower whatever you got in the background watching this show? Because I hear the volume of maybe the laptop. You can lower that part down.
Let me see if my phone. I don't have my laptop on, sir. How about now?
Okay, you sound better.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I don't hear an echo.
Yeah, I don't have my laptop. I'm only using the phone. That's it. I didn't have it. Must have been maybe something else. Okay. But yeah, you know, I was about to mention how Long Beach is about to become the stage for housing, I think, over 5,000 of the kids that are coming from Central America out to you know, the immigrants, the caravan. So they got a lot of you know, we noticed that a lot of the businesses out here, the Hispanic businesses, are trying to come together to help the kids out. The problem with it is that I guess what is it, ICE or whatever organization is bringing them in, they're having a difficult time. The vendors or the restaurants are having a difficult time assisting or helping the kids because ICE doesn't believe that they should be helped at all. Pretty much, that's what it looks like, because they're not allowing them to give them food or blankets or anything that may make their stay a little bit more, you know, not as bad as it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So with that, you should know that this country is a wicked country, man. You know, and why wouldn't you help these kids? I'll bet you if it was Europeans or Asians or any other nation, they would have gathered together to help them with blankets and warmth and a welcoming and anything they could to make their immigrant transition easier. But instead, they hold these children as if they were prisoners, as if they had done something. And the article that I had read a minute ago about what happened to this vendor, you know, is proof, because this man, you know, he witnesses someone getting killed in front of his taco stand, and now all of a sudden he's become how could I say it? He's become a victim, even though he had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I would say these hardworking vendors are now connected to a crime that they had nothing to do with. You know, it's kind of shocking to see things that way. You know what I'm saying, Cap? I can't hear you, Cap. Salakia, I can't hear you.
My fault. I forgot to unmute. But I was saying it's an everyday thing. It's the thing that we have to expect constantly and endure. You know what I'm saying? Which is sad, because it should not be that way, and yet it is. You know, it shouldn't be that we have to raise our families wondering if you're ever going to get to go home. if you're ever gonna make ends meet. But this is America for us, right? Like the song goes, "This is America," right? And guess what? And another thing I gotta stay clear. This event right here with the brother from Delaware, it's a brother that died in Puerto Rico. You know, him and his friend. You know, and that's another constant thing. There should not be any beef between blacks and Latinos. The problem is weird because a lot of us be in the world and have none of the laws of the Lord to teach us about brotherhood. You have things like this that happen in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? I be trying to talk to brothers sometimes and I make them understand that although you might think you come from the ghetto, the worst part of the ghettos in the United States, you really don't know ghetto until you leave the United States. Then you see the ghetto for what it really is. You know what I'm saying? And you're dealing with these people that are on the island that of course, we're U.S. citizens, but if you have to live there to understand what I'm saying. We're U.S. citizens, but we get treated like a third world country. You know what I'm saying? It's like they oh, you guys are U.S. citizens. We're going to give you jobs. And jobs that would normally pay in the United States $30 and $40 an hour, brothers and sisters got to make minimum wage for the same job. You know what I'm saying? Which is ridiculous. A construction job here pay what? Maybe 20-something, 30-something an hour, right? I had a job that I was a rebar tech, and I was making minimum wage, which is ridiculous. You know, you end up taking it because it's either that or no money, you know?
Absolutely.
It's either that, and that's why you see a lot of youth, they tired of the same thing. They read the reason why they're going into the streets and selling drugs because it pays better. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth. It pays a lot better. That's why they come out and buy the flashiest things. Look like how you see them look in the videos, like the reggaeton videos, they're all flash and all that. All that is because of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Which of course is not exclusive to Puerto Rico. It's everywhere where Israelites are at because of oppression. You know what I'm saying? And depending where you at, oppression can get far, far worse. But the root is right here in the United States. And of course, nobody want to hear that. Nobody want to hear the truth of the root of the problem is here in this American empire. The root of the problem is here because of our oppressors.
Salakia, so you know what the problem is? Salakia, if I may interrupt for just 1 second with a few words.
Go ahead.
Problem is that when we notice, like not too long ago, we had this Judite woman attacking a Mexican vendor who was selling flowers out here in LA. She went out and, you know, pushed him around, stole his flowers, the whole 9 yards, called them names, wetback, this and that. And the problem with this is that, and you've seen that Judite woman, but there's also been Mexican brothers who have done the same thing to other Mexican brothers, So it's not only Judah, it's Mexican on Mexicans too. But the thing is, the key to knowing that is that we want to be American. This Judite woman considered herself African American. This Mexican brother considered himself Mexican American. And when we begin to embrace the American side of us, the Mexican American, Afro American, then we begin to separate ourselves from our families, from our people, from those that are just like us. And to claim that you are Mexican American or Black American is a slap in the face to our, forefathers, ancestors, whatever you want to call them, to our people, because the American side of us is a wicked side. And that proves it right there, because as you see that woman attacking that Hispanic brother, she's seeing him as a wetback. She's seeing him as an illegal. She's seeing him as someone who doesn't belong in America and not American. So what is this man? He's a foreigner. But who are the real foreigners? Well, I would say they all foreigners, because you standing on Mexican land, on this land, we all brothers. Come on now. This land was stolen from our people under duress, under lies, under thieving, under rape, under murder. And we should honor these indigenous people for what they are. They're the natural people of this land. And for us to do anything like that, we should understand that we're embracing an American side of culture or American mindset or a perspective of America hating anybody that is not white America. And even though we call ourselves American, let's face it, the white man doesn't ever see a black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian as American.
That is so true. And that, guess what? When I go out teach, I always tell people, you're not Americans, you're the American slave.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's the real reality. On top of that, everything you said is 666, the mark of the beast.
Absolutely.
Everything you just said, you can go back into the book of Revelations. That mark is being American. That mark is telling your own people, whether you be black or Latino, and degrading your own people because you love America so much. You know, like, how dare we call our own brothers monkeys or call our own brothers wetbacks and beaners and spicks and all that because we love America? Like, does acting that way give us points with America? I'm pretty sure, and I don't even have to dig deep into what I'm about to say, but every brother who loved America and found out that they were still black, found out that they were still Latino, right, realized then and there that, damn, I should have stood on my side of the fence. But a lot of us want to jump the fence and go be with them. Like, there's nothing really great about being with them. If you see them being the oppressor, if you see them naturally, they're boring people. Like, there ain't nothing really happening with them, you know what I'm saying? And from what I see, a lot of them these days are very poor. You know what I'm saying? Because even among their own kind, you know, they're showing no kind of compassion or love, which that's what you get. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's just what it is. Where we at?
You know, so like you said, but you know that you hear Hispanics like we're todo Latino America. You know, we're raised into loving God, whether we Christian, Catholic, whatever we may errorly be in error. But the bottom line is that on the foundation of it, we love the Lord. We love God. Even when we're goddamn Christians, we're going because we love God. If we're Catholic, we're going because we love God, not because they really taught us that, but because we thought that was the right thing to do. So we love God, and blacks, our Judite brothers, they the same way.
Yeah, and if I could add to that, what you're saying is right. The thing is how Paul said, that we love God, but not according to knowledge.
God.
That's the thing. Like, something about us is attracted to the Lord on instant. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if we didn't go to church, something about knowing that there's got to be something much greater than us here. They've had to put all this together. Is already here in us. You know what I'm saying? But because of the religions that exist here, keeps us further away from the Creator. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But definitely there is something in us that wants to seek the Lord, but not according to knowledge, as Paul said. But that's what our job. Our job is to feed the people the knowledge, the right kind of knowledge. Like, you'd be surprised. One of my other platforms that I deal with, like you found out earlier, is with TikTok, right? And I get a lot of input from there. And I got, you know, I don't got a great large followers. I got like over 10,000 likes, but likes and followers is different. And I ain't doing it for likes or following. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it for the small amount of people who will give ear and turn back to the Lord. That's what I do it for. I don't do it for the masses. You know what I'm saying? Because really, all I care, the ones they hate, they're going to hate anyway. My point to it is that when I do get to speak about the Lord, you have people on both sides of the coins. You have people who like the points that are being brought out, but then you have people like that brother that say comments like that. Well, the 12-tribe chart has been debunked. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For the 12-tribe chart to be debunked, let me tell you something. That means who was one of the tribes that's on that 12-tribe chart? Negroes. Right? Yes or no? right?
Absolutely.
You say the 12 tribe chart has been debunked. That would include Negroes are not part of that. You see that? They make it a stupid, idiotic statement, not realizing that you're part of the 12. How you gonna be black and say the 12 tribes has been debunked? Well, look closer, fool. Look closely. It says Negro, tribe of Judah. If you're a West Indian, it say it, tribe of Benjamin. If you're a Levite, it say it. Tribe of, excuse me, if you're Haitian, it clearly says Haitian. 12 tribe been debunked means all the tribes have been debunked. That's an idiot. An idiot don't even think straight. And I wish one of you that say to debunk that thing has been debunked. I'm challenging you. Come up here, send me a comment, a message saying that you want to get up on the Spanish Xperience and debunk it with me. Let's go toe to toe with it.
Right.
That's what I want. I want you to get up on the Spanish Xperience and let's go toe to toe to proving if ISUPK is wrong on the 12 tribe chart, or if you're wrong. What you're gonna find out is that you're gonna get an ass whooping in that day. I'm already calling it Kazakh. Yeah, it's gonna be a slam dunk on that day.
Salagi, sir. Let me add to that. You're dealing with scholars here. I got enough to bury anybody who has anything different to say than what ISUPK's got to say.
That's
like
it.
I'm the scholar for Hispanics right here, and I'm saying and I'm putting it out there. I'm ready. You come here and you speak whatever it is you're trying to say and prove us wrong. But let me tell you something. You better know my history better than I know my history.
Yep.
Because I can bury you with all the archaeological and written history that comes from before the conquest of Mexico to prove that the Hispanics are the children of Israel. And of course, you know ISUPK, Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians were God's chosen people.
That's right. I wanted to show something real quick. I wonder what happened to the thing. But let me show you something real quick. I keep secret weapons on my phone. I'm just going to pull up one of my secret weapons. I see if I can zoom in properly for this. Bear with me. Here we go. Let's see where that damn gallery. Where's it at? Here we go. I'm going to pull something up. Now, this image, when I found it, I said, yo, this, I'm going to save it. Just specifically for any idiot who tried now to say that the 12 tribes, right, are not Israelites, right? Now, I'm going to zoom in real good on the camera, right? This is one of my secret weapons here. You see in the image, right? You see Jeremiah?
Concept.
Right? Let me see. Jeremiah. There's Jeremiah right there. Right? You see he's a black man, right? And then you go over here, you see Malachi, also black. Now, look at Hosea. Does Hosea look like a Negro or does he look like a Latino?
Wow. Absolutely.
Latino.
You clearly can see he looked like a Puerto Rican, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead, y'all. What's up?
It's luck. I was actually holding Hosea 7:11. It's funny. It's crazy how you put up Hosea.
Look at this. I'm going to zoom in some more so that way everybody can see it. Hosea. Ain't nobody gonna tell me, and this is a Russian icon. Ain't nobody gonna tell me that the Latinos are not part of the 12 tribes. Hey, the disciples knew it. Y'all can just freeze frame the image if y'all want. Stop the video, whatever. But you can clearly see Hosea is a Latino.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, and I got much other things I keep on my phone. You know what I'm saying? For anybody black that really want to know if whether or not you are African. I got stuff for that too to slam dunk on that as well. You know what I'm saying? So, anybody else want to bring something out right now? Something a little different, or something to add to?
If I may, you think Puerto Rico will get statehood now?
Will Puerto Rico get what?
Statehood.
Statehood? Oh, that's a good question. Now,
Come.
are you trying to find out my opinion?
I've never, since I was a Lions whelp, I never wanted them to have nothing to do with this crazy country.
Right, I got
I've
you.
always been if I may, I've been a firm believer that if all islands of the Caribbean united, like we just stop the world. We don't need Esau. They need us. They raping the. I don't want to seem biased, but they raping the Hispanic tribes. They raping Latin America. You know, me being in the truth now, right? At this age, right, and seeing that we have men in Latin America, you know, it's to me it lifts up my heart.
Right.
Because that, you know, the truth is spread through the four corners of the earth. So like,
you're right. Well, here's what I would say about Puerto Rico, if I may, right? Okay. Me living in the island of Puerto Rico, right? And even before that, I always wanted statehood, right? And that's what that was dumb of me to even want. This is before the truth, right? Now, here's what I say. I'd rather not it become a state, but because of the condition it is, it's already conquered. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I'd rather it not be a state. The problem is, let's say America say, well, the hell with y'all, go independent. You know what that would spell out for Puerto Rico? We'll be so goddamn poor that the first person to say, I'll take you in, will be their will be their prostitute, because, and I tell this to people, Puerto Rico has been the whore of the United States of America. It was the whore for Spain. Spain was the abusive husband. Now, America is the abusive husband.
Come.
The way Puerto Rico is situated, right? It's the first entrance before you come into the Gulf of Mexico. You got to pass through Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? Before you even come into the Gulf of Mexico, or even into close to Central America, or even like you got to go through that reason if you want to go through there. You know what I'm saying? The way, and it's messed up too, how when America won in the Spanish-American War, I mean, I can give you some history, real good, juicy history, if you want to, if you got time to hear it out. You want to hear some of it?
Absolutely, sir.
I'm gonna give it to you then. So this is the state of Puerto Rico. I'm gonna give some history, but it'll put you into perspective of how Puerto Rico is right now. And I got it all written down because I never want to forget it. And you go like this. In 1898, immediately after the Spanish-American War, there was a very devastating hurricane. Hurricane Santiago destroyed the island's entire coffee industry. It destroyed the crops and all that, right? And lifted thousands of people that became homeless. Okay? What is this? Became homeless, which essentially ruined the Puerto Rican economy, because sugar and coffee on the island was one of the main industries to keep keep Puerto Rico going, right? When this hurricane came through, two things happened. One was some Puerto Ricans were invited by 4 major sugar companies to move to Hawaii. That's why you have Puerto Ricans in Hawaii till this day. Bruno Mars, he's one of the Puerto Rican descendants of the people that went to Hawaii to live. You already know Bruno Mars is Ephraim. Okay. So it ruined the Puerto Rican economy, being that the island of Puerto Rico was now a U.S. colony, right? Or territory. After the hurricane, the U.S., check this out, the U.S. did not send any type of relief after the hurricane, okay? Although at that time, we were a U.S. territory, all right? The following year, the United States devalued the Puerto Rican currency at 43% and forced all Puerto Ricans to exchange their currency to American dollars at a devalued rate of 40%. Meaning, let's say Puerto Rican had a Puerto Rican dollar, for instance. Subtract 40% of that, that's what you was going to get back in your hand. Which was a lot. 60%. In 1901, the United States enacted the Hollander Act, which presented as deeply graduated set of property taxes that no farmer had ever faced before. Now, having these three things that hit all at once, the hurricane, devaluing the money, and that property tax, right? They all hit at once, start a loop. They need capital and start looking for ways not to lose their farms. The main institute that will lend to Puerto Rico was called the American Colonial Bank. Since they had no usury law restrictions, it became very difficult to pay interest payments because of not having any usury law restrictions. Meaning, these banks lend money to individuals who wanted to keep their land. And what the banking institute was just the interest rates, they would charge exuberant prices on just interest rates, which then what will happen eventually? Eventually, these landowners could not keep the land because the interest was too goddamn high and making them lose the land. Okay, so this allowed the U.S. to charge extremely high interest rates, just like I said. To put in perspective, if you take the mortgage crisis of 2007 and multiply that by 100%, or 100-fold, that is. So y'all remember the 2007 housing crisis, right? The mortgage, how a lot of people ended up foreclosing because of this. So you can imagine 100-fold, meaning 100 times that tragedy that happened in Puerto Rico, right? So that was in those days, and this was 3 years of the relationship between Puerto Rico and the United States. Within 20 years, farmers had lost their farms. 80% of the most terrible land in Puerto Rico was now owned by North American banking syndicates. 40% of that 80 was owned by 4 sugarcane corporations. The same 4 that had set a lie and said to Puerto Ricans because the Chinese would not work the farms in the sugarcane fields, right? They started to, but realized that the white man was trying to take advantage of them. They said they started protesting, the Chinese and Japanese. They originally had the Hawaiians do it. And the Hawaiians said, hell no, we ain't doing shit for y'all. Right? But the Puerto Ricans, since we already suffering these issues on the island, we took the job. And you should see what Puerto Ricans suffered in Hawaii, man. They were getting treated just like how brothers got treated in the cotton field. Literally, getting their backs whooped by people who work for these 4 American sugarcane companies, by employees of the same corporations. So anyway, let me continue. It says it forced the former farmers to now to now go look for work within the cities of Puerto Rico. Any Puerto Rican legislators that would try to enact any minimum wage legislation, it was automatically struck down as unconstitutional. Okay. So Puerto Ricans were declared U.S. citizens in 1917. You know what happened in 1917?
What happened, sir?
World War I. That was the only
Con,
reason why they made us citizens. It wasn't because we, well, most people think, most Latinos think, well, you Puerto Ricans got it easy. Y'all U.S. citizens. We didn't choose to be citizens. We were forced into citizenship because they wanted to send us into war. That's what happened in 1917. And here it continues in 1917, time for the military conscription, World War I. In 1922, under Balzac versus Puerto Rico, the U.S. Supreme Court declared that the Constitution did not apply in Puerto Rico. So things like freedom of speech and minimum wage legislation were not available privileges, immunities afforded to Puerto Ricans. So check that out. So we were citizens, but we had no freedom of speech. We had no right to vote. Guess what happened? Guess what? How it is in 2021? In the age of the internet, we still don't have freedom of speech, and we still don't vote.
Absolutely, absolutely right, sir.
But to me, that's a good thing. Still clear?
Slacky. If I may, I just found out we Puerto Rico's been in recession since 2016.
Look at that.
I just found that out.
Hey, Salaki, sir. Salaki, sir. My class is about to start. The inconvenient truth. You know what I'm saying? Always inviting all my brothers to come in and check out the show. I'm gonna add something. I don't wanna. I didn't post it up yet, but Commanding General Mahaiman will be on my class today.
Most high Christ.
So we're ready for a real good class today. You know what I'm saying? And it's always a pleasure to be here with you, Cap. Always a pleasure to be here with you. We're gonna be doing this every week. We're gonna start pushing this. We want everybody to get out and really understand that we're gonna make this a debate. Bring yourself in here. Let's make it work. Let's see what you got.
That's right.
We got the truth here. We're gonna make it work. And if you're really up to it and you really think you know what it is, well, I invite you to come down here and show us what you got. You know, you better be ready, because here I know we got men of truth, men of knowledge, men of war that are ready to show you what it is. Salaki, sir, me despido. Aquí en esta estación favorita, you know what I'm saying? Cáiganle aquí vamos a estar.
Most high Christ. And let me say this. I know you got to roll, but like Kazak said, you want to invite anybody that want to come on this platform. This is the Spanish Experience, right? We represent the Israelite School University of Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohana. But let me tell you something. If you feel like I said earlier, that the Latinos are not Israelites, you're more than welcome to hit me up, Captain Oscar Parian of the Israelite School University of Practical Knowledge, and we can do this here live for the whole planet. All right. With that, shalom. Yahweh Shem Don't worry, we're gonna get this live and popping starting next week. Shalom.
Shalom.